Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Aura, and today we are going to talk about a type of work that has helped me heal diseases which doctors have deemed incurable, as well as begin to reconnect with my higher self, integrate my soul essence within this physical body, remember other aspects of myself, other lifetimes, and begin to live my life purpose here in this beautiful incarnation. But this work does not work for everybody. Yep. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later in this video. So without any further ado, let's dive right into it. I started with hypnotherapy on my own back in 2012, actually November 2011. So it's almost 14 years since I started doing this work on my own. And I've been meditating since the age of 7. So this is something that I've been doing my entire life. And it has saved my life. Not when I started, well, actually meditation did save my life as a kid. It kept me focused on remaining in my body instead of being affected too much by the things that were going on in my everyday life. But then as I was a teenager, I stopped meditating and I started doing that again in 2011, November, when I also started doing hypnotherapy for myself, with myself, by myself. Well, not by myself. I started with videos from YouTube, actually. I think it was Brian White's hypnosis sessions that were available on YouTube back then. And this is how I got into this work. And as soon as I got into this work, I'm talking about this in several videos, I cured 3 mental and 3 physical chronic diseases within 3 months. And this is very funny because I actually never thought about the fact that it's 333. And after my first quantum healing session, which is also a type of hypnotherapy, actually 3 weeks later, I met my husband and my entire life has changed. I met my twin flame. So it's funny that this number 3 keeps following me around when it comes to this type of work. With this work, I have cured bipolar syndrome. I have cured borderline personality disorder. And I also had extreme ADD, as well as chronic depression, anxiety, and, the whole beautiful package. At the same time, I had polycystic ovaries, endometriosis, and psoriasis, as well as fibromyalgia. All of this got cured by simply deciding to sit down, meditate, sit with myself, eat the right way, exercise, not by forcing myself to go to the gym or to do something that I don't like doing. I don't like running. I don't like, so I don't care what other people are doing. I was never looking for any type of inspiration outside of myself. I actually had isolated myself from the internet, from my friends. My friends were living in a different town back then. So I was alone in university. I was doing my thesis work, which means that I had a lot of time to myself outside of the study. I didn't need to go to school for classes because all we had left to do was the thesis work. But otherwise, I was on my own by myself all the time. So what I did is I started studying. I started not only seeking out ways of how to heal myself, but deciding that I want to live a healthy and free and joyous life. And this is what I did every single night before going to bed at 9 p.m. I would put music on Spotify with the commercials because I didn't have money to pay for, the subscription. So I would have commercials between every song or every other song. And I would just dance for half an hour before going to bed. Also, I used to do 10 minutes or 20 minutes of Pilates without thinking much of it. So I wasn't really thinking that this would in any way heal me. But what I was thinking was, this is what I feel like doing now. And not only have I healed all of these diseases within 3 months, which was a shock for me. This was not my intention. My goal was just to make sure that I'm happy. That's it. To make sure that I'm living a healthy life and that I am blissful at all times. And I used to write with a pen on my arm. Now I have it tattooed in white, which please don't get white tattoos. They're only going to look like scars. It's dumb. I tattooed, be the change you wish to see in the world. And I was making sure that every single day I was going to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. I didn't want to see a grumpy world. I didn't want to see a sick world. So I had to be the happy, healthy being that I wanted to see in the world. And that's how I lived my life. But hypnotherapy and meditation have helped me integrate that within my physical body on a daily basis. I sat with myself every single day and did that. And as I started to do that, I not only tapped into my physicality and my mental and emotional body, but I also tapped into my multidimensional body. This is something that I had my entire life, which I think also led me to get this diagnosis, because I was being depressed because I could feel everything around me. So what was actually happening is that I was and am a hypersensitive person. I can feel what other people are actually feeling, what they're thinking. I can feel the collective and so on and so forth. But, psychiatry does not understand this. And because I did not know how to regulate my own feelings, I didn't know how to set boundaries for myself, I let it destroy me. And because from the age of 14, I made it my life's mission to help others, to make sure that nobody else is suffering the way that I suffer, what I did, instead of actually helping these other teenagers like me, which I did help, but I also absorbed all of their pain within me. So I kept piling up on my depressive emotions, my self-destructive behavior, and all of that. I took their suffering as my own. And this wasn't just one person. It was a lot of different people that I was trying to help out at the same time while completely ignoring myself. Fast forward to what I was trying to say about 2012 now, is that I also now for the first time have access to multidimensional aspect of all that I am and everything that's going on without the fear. Now I was no longer afraid of my premonitions. I was no longer afraid of the voices that I was hearing in my head, because I could suddenly understand that they are simply an extension of me. And before I had my first quantum healing session, I still thought that, there might be a notion of being crazy, even though the voice that I would hear, the voices, because they're different, that I would hear would tell me the truth. So every time when someone would lie to me or something would be in a certain way, but it sounded or felt wrong, the voice would tell me something related to that situation or related to that person. That would be the truth. And then I would challenge it. And it did turn out to be the truth. So I was definitely not going crazy there, but I was having a hard time trusting all of this. And so when I finally dove my fingers into QHHT, was the first session that I had, it didn't really work. And it didn't really work because I had a set belief that things have to be a certain way. And I still had a lot of fear in me. And I can tell you about a few clients, I can count them on one hand, that I had over the years where the sessions didn't really work. When a session is not working, it means that the person is not really letting go during the session, because these sessions are a 50-50 pact. This means that I do my best to make sure that you are relaxing, and you do your best to make sure that you're relaxing and letting go. It's not just me. I'm not a magician. I'm not a magic pill. This work is not a magic pill. It's all up to you. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. When you sit to watch a movie, you hypnotize yourself because you allow yourself to be hypnotized by the movie. When you're reading a book, when you're listening to amazing music that is putting you in all different types of states, that is being hypnotized. When you are brushing your teeth or taking a shower and your mind is wandering in all these beautiful different directions and you're having epiphanies, you are in an altered state of mind. You are in an alpha state or even in a theta state. You can be in these states while standing. You don't have to be sleeping, which is why hypnosis does not mean that you sleep. It's just that it has been so loaded by stage hypnosis that it simply doesn't work for certain people who have a certain set of beliefs. I personally thought that I wasn't supposed to feel anything or to know anything when I was going to have that session. So it didn't work for me. And the clients that I seem to be having the most problems with are those who have experienced shamanic journeys or those who are training to be shamans, because I don't really know how shamanism works. I don't know if any type of substance is being involved, But these sessions allow you to reach incredible states of consciousness where you get to explore your multidimensional being without a substance while still being conscious. So you're not falling asleep. And if you during the session are under the constant impression that something is not working because you're not asleep, because you're still conscious, then you are breaking the flow of the information. Thing is that this type of work is built on trust, and we cannot trust if we don't believe. And to believe, we need to know something to be true. If we don't believe and don't trust and don't know that these things truly work, then they won't. It is as simple as that. I've also known circles of friends. I'm thinking now about a specific circle who they all came to me, and one or two of them, their lives have changed so dramatically after the session. Everything that their higher self said in their session that is going to happen, even though it was absolutely unbelievable, all of that happened. Everything happened is what I wanted to say. And then I had some of their friends coming to me and saying, why isn't this happening for me? I'm looking at these people and I'm seeing them evolve and I'm seeing them achieve their dreams. Why isn't it happening to me? The session didn't work for me. No, it's not that the session didn't work for you. It's that these people who the session has worked for, they had stable jobs that were paying very well. They had beautiful monthly salaries. They were living in big villas and so on and so forth. The whole, that type of dream. And they risked it all in order to follow their dreams because they were not happy with these jobs. And by risking it all in order to follow their dreams, they have achieved everything that their higher self told them that they were going to achieve in these sessions. And I have two testimonials, which you can find on my website. They are both video formats. One is the shorter video where my beautiful client, one of them, this is a person that I was not thinking about, but now I'm thinking about this person, made a short reel. And then he also made, I think, a 10-minute video or 9-minute video where he talks about how the session has changed his life. So it all has to do with knowing, believing, and trusting. When I decided to switch my life around, I had no expectations and I had no goals other than to make sure that every single day I live a healthy, joyous life. Period. Nothing else. Yes, I was writing my thesis. Yes, I was studying for the university. But yes, I was also dancing every day. And no, I didn't have money. I was living on $500 a month back then. That was the money that I had. With that money, I was also paying for my apartment. I was paying for my electricity, and I was eating exactly the amount of food that I needed to eat. I was not snacking. I was not overeating. I couldn't afford it. I was never going anywhere, and I didn't feel the need to go anywhere. And I needed to work on myself anyway. But every single day I was leaving my apartment. Every single day I would go out in the world, take a walk. I would put makeup on for myself. I was not interested in anything or anyone, just to throw the trash. And I would dress up in heels and dresses to go throw the trash. It's about that. It's about embodying that without expectations, living in the moment as your highest expression. And I didn't know what my highest expression was back then, but I knew what my highest joy is. And those two are one and the same. Your highest joy and your highest expression are one and the same. Another reason as to why I'm making this video is because I've had people contacting me and asking me about channeling, asking me about connecting to guides, connecting to all this and that. And this is all part of the sessions. These sessions are a reminder that each and every single one of you is a channeler. Nobody is special in the way that they're not gurus, they're not, I don't know what, channelers and all that. Every single one of us is that as well. So each and every single one of you can channel, no matter how normal you think you are, no matter how untalented you think you are. It's an innate part of our being. Dogs can channel, plants can channel. We all have access to our multidimensional essence and aspects. And so I've had everyday people that were not working with me that wanted to connect to their starseed aspects, that wanted to connect to past lives or, other aspects of themselves or even their soul essence. And they wanted me to channel these things for them. Yes, I can, but no, I won't. Because my job here is to empower you to remember that you can do all of this for yourself. I had such a beautiful client who wanted me to channel, to contact loved one that has crossed over. And I was telling her that, look, I can, but I won't, because I want to show you that you can do this, that you don't have to need me or to need anybody else outside of you to do this type of work. And she kept insisting and kept insisting. And eventually she did book a session. During the session, she contacted her loved one. And after the session, and I think it's been a year now, she has kept receiving so many beautiful messages. She's always in contact with her loved ones that have crossed over. She is just thriving as a medium, something that she didn't know she was, something that she thought she needs to go to someone and have them act as an intermediary that will connect her to their loved ones. Whereas now she can talk to them whenever she wants to, whenever she feels the need to, without needing me anymore. Another thing that I want to mention about these sessions is that so many times when the session is over, the client would say, yeah, but I already knew all this. It's not new information. Well, it's not new information, but you are going to keep hearing it until you act on it. Because every single time I sit and meditate, I receive the same message. And I asked so many times, I'm like, please stop. I already know this. Stop telling me this. I need new information. I'm stuck. And they're like, well, you're stuck until you're going to actually act upon what we keep repeating every single day. And we will keep repeating it until you do something about it. These are just confirmations that the information that you have been receiving is actually correct. And it's just all a matter of you acting upon it. Because the moment you act upon it, you put it into action in this physicality, it's going to be activated. And once it's activated, it no longer needs to be repeated to you, by your higher self. And again, what is the higher self? It's not some weird woo-woo situation. It's just you vibrating at a higher frequency. It is, sometimes I think of it as the way that I know that certain things are better for my dog than he knows. So, or a parent, when you have a child, you know about certain things that your child should and shouldn't do, but the child is unaware of these things. So that's what your higher self is. It's just that it's your subconscious mind, which stretches over and outside of the body into your energy field. And it speaks to you through your intuition, through your gut feeling, through dreams, and in moments of stillness if you sit and listen to it, if you allow it to. But first you need to allow yourself to shut up and listen to what it has to say and then follow it. Because listening without following is not really listening. And the more you follow it, the more intense it will become, the more you're going to hear it, the more you're going to feel it. And the less you choose to follow it, well, And when it comes to doing all this quantum stuff, this work has not only healed chronic disease of the mind and of the body, but it has gone to crazy lengths of, for instance, marks disappearing from my skin, which were there. And I know that I've been doing this through quantum leaps, through quantum jumps. And this is exactly what this work does. It is helping us achieve the quantum leaps and quantum jumps that we always wanted to do. But then after the session, it's up to us to keep putting this work into action. And this is the most important part of the work, to follow the advice that you have received from your higher self, from your guides, from your subconscious mind. This is what this work is all about. The facilitator themselves is putting you in contact with your body, with your subconscious mind, with your higher self. After the session, it's up to you to follow that advice and to put it into action, supported by belief, by trust, by knowing that it is so. Not that it's a lie, that you made it all up, because we make everything up. If someone would not have made up these phones or this entire technology through which I'm talking to you now, we wouldn't have it. It wouldn't exist. So everything starts with making something up. We are creator beings. So everything we make up, it's then up to us to fuel it through action. But it's important that we believe in it, that we see it as truth. It was the same when I was hearing voices in my head. I actually chose not to believe. I thought it's crazy, right? Because people have been telling me a certain thing. They've been telling me that, no, this is what happened. And then I'm hearing a voice in my head telling me that something else has happened. And of course, I'm having a hard time believing the voice in my head, only to then quickly find out that the voice was right and that the people were lying to me. But you need to trust. And if you can't trust, let go. But the problem is that you cannot let go without trusting. If you don't trust, you cannot relax. And you need to be in a relaxed state of being in order to access these aspects of yourself. So it's all interconnected, and it's all up to you to be the change you wish to see in this world, to be the change that is aligned to your soul, to your highest expression, to your true essence. It's all about accessing your inner truth and your outmost, greatest potential. And why is it called quantum healing? Because it is tied to quantum physics. It is tied to the observer effect, which in quantum mechanics means that every single particle exists in multiple states until it is being observed. And by the act of observing it, the wave function is being collapsed into one reality. This means that whenever you become the observer, right? Because that's why we become the neutral observer, so that we can begin to observe all the different events from our life and beyond the current life from an objective way, so that we can begin to have a deeper understanding of what is actually going on, to broaden the perspective. You begin to heal because you are witnessing this truth more deeply, neutrally, consciously, and thus collapsing old patterns, creating a new way of understanding of what has been going on and what is actually happening. The act of observation changes your reality. And when you meet a hidden wound with love, it can transform instantly. It also correlates to quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, they are entangled forever, disregarding time and space. This also means that as you are accessing all the different parts of yourself, again, not just of this lifetime, but of other lifetimes, other aspects of you and everything that you have ever been and everything that you will ever be, when you heal one of these aspects, this healing ripples out into all other aspects of you. They are entangled. Not only are we entangled within ourselves, but we are entangled with one another. So many times when we heal an aspect of ourselves, we heal our entire ancestry. We heal our family members, or even our closest friends, even our pets, and so on and so forth, because our energy field ripples out into the reality that surrounds us, which is a reflection of what we are, of our state of being, of our understanding of the reality. It is immediately mirroring our perspective and our understanding, which quantum physics is all about. It is also linked to potentiality within quantum physics, which means that every single system exists within a field of infinite potential until consciousness, which creates reality, chooses a certain outcome, a certain potential. And it is linked to non-locality and timelessness, which again are aspects of quantum physics. And during these sessions, so many times when I'm having a 5-hour session, or well, during these 5-hour sessions, the client is usually for 3 hours in an altered state of mind. And as I bring them back, not that they have been unconscious, they were fully conscious, but as I bring them fully back and help ground them within this reality again, I asked them, how long did you find that the session was? And sometimes they say 10 minutes, half an hour. And I told them, well, look at the clock. And that is because you are literally experiencing time traveling. You are traveling through space multidimensionally. And this is something that this work, as you have had a quantum healing session, for instance, can help you integrate this ability so that you may use it in your everyday life. But again, this work is not for those who do not trust. I do talk about my miracle client in so many other videos, which has to do with a surgeon who didn't believe in this work at all, doesn't believe in anything at all, is a completely 100% scientific person, and wanted to have a session right away. She was one of my first 15 clients, I think, ever. So I was still practicing this work. And I was very skeptical to offer her a session right now because I normally give people 10 days to 2 weeks to prepare for a session. I find that this is highly important to really know what this is about and get your mind and body prepared for it. But she insisted to have it right here, right now. And it was absolutely mind-blowingly amazing. She was flying through space. She was answering questions which to her everyday conscious mind seemed absolutely stupid to her logical mind. But her subconscious and her higher self had so much to show her in that session. And after the session, the first thing she does is she grabs a glass of wine and starts Googling everything with me right there in front of her. And I thought that that was so beautiful and just fantastic and mind-blowing. And that's because she didn't really had any expectations. She just wanted to see what kind of crap this is that I'm dealing with. I hope that this video has given you at least an interesting perspective, if not valuable information. I hope that you liked it. I definitely had fun making it by starting it about 35 times or something like that. It's absolutely insane. Thank you so much for hanging out with me until the end. If you're interested in a one-on-one session, please go to my website and book it there because that calendar functions according to your time zone, depending on where you are in the world right now. So this is how you're seeing the hours depicted there. If you are not ready to dive deep into a one-on-one session, then you can always try to do the meditations that I'm having here on YouTube. Again, I cannot control any ads. I don't have that type of power on YouTube right now. And these videos have been all neatly gathered in the Soul Alchemy playlist, which will be showing up in the end screen of this video. And if you want to try some ad-free meditations, you can find them on my website under the tab Free Tools. They are available in English and Romanian right now. And the other documents that you can work with, the PDFs that are also downloadable for free from my website, are in 3 languages, in English, Romanian, and Swedish. And I'm doing sessions in these 3 languages as well. If you found this video helpful in any way, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type them in the comments below. And if you have other topics that you would like me to talk about, please type those in the comments below as well, because I love making these videos. And actually today I didn't know what to make a video about, but I do know that I always wanted to talk to you more about this type of work. So here it is. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have an amazing moment of the infinite now. Stay incredible. Take care of yourselves, and I love you.